Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. So today I have two very important and informative updates for you about Ethiopia. So if you're thinking about moving to the continent or Ethiopia specifically, you don't want to miss this. Okay, so today is going to be a bit of a news update type of a video. It's going to be taking a little bit of a break from the mini series I've been doing on the cost of living in Addis Ababa, which, by the way, you guys seem to be really enjoying that one. And, I just want to thank you for all the love and support that you've been showing me with the views and the comments. So thank you, keep watching, and I will get right back to that series after this little update. So there are two major things going on in Ethiopia right now. The war/conflict that had been going on for far too long in the northern region of the country is now cooling off. And the Ethiopian government is shifting its focus towards Ethiopia's economy. And that is welcome news for Ethiopians and diaspora and other people looking to move into the country, because just like many other places around the world, Ethiopia has been struggling with staggering inflation. It's just been dramatic and overwhelming for the people. And I know that because we were living there when inflation started to really ramp up. So this is welcome news for many Ethiopians. And specifically, the government is taking two major actions to address the economic woes. First of all, according to many international news sources and the Ethiopian government itself, Ethiopia is banning 38 categories of imports into. So those categories are ranging from furniture to cosmetics and canned goods. So it pretty much is a very wide-ranging list of things. And, if you go online and see some of the articles, you'll be able to, see the specific things that are being banned. But that is one step Ethiopia is taking to address the economic inflation. So how will this help, might you ask? I mean, you might be thinking, like you just said in the last video, that we could get certain imports at the local international grocery stores. And, the things that we might be used to and accustomed to at home are available in Ethiopia. And now you're saying they're not going to be? Well, okay, so I guess there's a positive and negative to this. So the negative is, yes, maybe some of those imports may not be as readily accessible as they have been in the past or in recent days. But there's a very good reason for that. The imports are expensive. Ethiopia is a landlocked country, and so bringing these items into this country or into that country costs a lot of money, and that cost is passed on to the consumer. So while those items may not be as available as they once were, this opens up the door for Ethiopians and diaspora to step up and fill in the gap. So, if there are certain types of cosmetics or furniture or something that a local person is able to produce, that will boost their business, because now the alternative is no longer available. So Ethiopian businesses are going to see growth. I believe they're going to see growth as a result of this. Also, this opens up the door for other new business opportunities into Ethiopia. So where there may be something that is lacking, or maybe there is an issue in a certain area, someone, maybe you, coming from an outside nation and looking for business ideas to start on the continent, can come up with something to sell locally. So, this will be made in Ethiopia, produced in Ethiopia, and sold to Ethiopians, and I think that's wonderful. I think that will help the Ethiopian people. I think it will help the Ethiopian government and all of these other governments that have been, prospering basically off of the Ethiopian people. Now the money they were making is going to be transferred into the pockets of the Ethiopians and the people living in Ethiopia. So that's a very, very good new thing that's happening. So that's something, in my opinion, to be celebrated. Secondly, Ethiopia has begun exporting electricity to Kenya. So, as you know, Ethiopia is home, and some say the source of the Nile, and it flows upstream, downstream to Egypt. It flows north to Egypt. So Egypt is downstream of the Nile. And Ethiopia has been working on a dam to produce hydroelectric power for the country and also for that whole East African region. So it has officially begun exporting electricity to Kenya. And according to the Bloomberg article, Ethiopia will be able to amass about $100 million of revenue annually. So that's great news for the Ethiopian economy. Once it gets going and it's fully completed, the article notes that the dam should be fully complete by 2024. Ethiopia will probably be able to export electricity throughout the region and maybe throughout the continent. So that is a huge update for the country and for people who may be considering moving to Africa, moving to Ethiopia. Things are changing. Things are shifting. The world is changing. Another thing in this regard is that Ethiopia is about to begin exporting wheat as well as electricity. So we've heard, through the media and social media, all that there are some food shortages that are in existence, even within the Western world, within Europe and even in America. And there's some expectation that these food shortages will increase and get worse. Well, I believe it's 80% of Ethiopia's economy is agriculture. And so Ethiopia, by the hand of God, is able to step in and say, we will produce wheat and export it to the world. Isn't that something? Let that marinate for a minute. When Western world used to look down upon, right, those who were living in African nations, now they are looking for help for food, right? Wasn't it Ethiopia that went through the Great Famine, right? And now look at them. They're producing food to feed the rest of the world. What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn it around for good. And that is really what is beginning to happen. And I've been saying this for a while now. Africa is the future. And I think that Ethiopia is one of those African countries leading the way. So it's just another reason, if you're interested, to think about relocating to Ethiopia specifically. So that's all for the updates that I have for you today. Like I said, in the next few videos, I'm going to get right back onto the cost of living and help you all budget for a potential move. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was informative, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.